Hey folks, how's it going? Welcome to another episode of D20 Sundays. This one on Because It's There. Now, we have those moments to where either as players or as DMs, something goes awry. As a player, maybe we feel like we're being railroaded too much, or we're just so chaotic that we want to have fun. And that fun by making a mess of everything. Or the DM didn't have anything planned for this session, so he's pulling it out of his butt. We have all been there. I've had to do it a number of times. I've gotten a little better at it, but it's what it is. So, what do you do to pull a session out of your ass? How do you do it? Well, first, find out what they're doing. What are your players doing? Are they going completely left field and decide to go check out another town for a couple of sessions? Well, that's easy. Uh, you can, if you have a phone or your computer available when you're doing your DMing, there are plenty of essentially city and village producing generators out there. Currently use, I think it's called donjon.bin.sh. I'll put the link down in the description. I use it a lot when I'm making something and I'm not sure how I want to make it. But it does have a city generator, which is great. Um, as well as it helps with determining how many guards the place might have. And that's something else. Say you decide to make a village nearby. The village has, say, 200 people. It's a relatively new village. They probably have 1 to 4 guards for the whole village because it's a new village and, they're not as developed as any of the others. Okay, so how often do these guards patrol? Or are they just average people who also have other jobs, but they do guard duty when, something arises? And then another thing you can do is determine how much value each house has in it. You don't have to give, exact down to the copper piece how much value this house has in it as far as items or money goes. You can simply say, okay, since we're in a poor village, it's a recently made village, they probably mostly have silver pieces and copper pieces. So take 2d6. One will be the silver pieces, one will be the copper pieces. You roll them both. That house has that much. They got 3 silver pieces and 6 copper pieces. And it works. It's okay, so, they're poor. They might have a town hall kind of area that might have more money in it. That place probably has 2d6 of silver pieces, so roll 2d6, and that's how many silver pieces it has. The point is that if your players decide to go marauding and raiding random places because they can, because it's there, well, let them. Let them do it. The whole thing is, even though it might be a session being pulled out to your rear and you might not have everything planned, the NPC Codex for the system you're using, which if I recall, most D20 systems have one, it tells you the stats for a basic guard. And that's more than easily usable for this town. You could also possibly use the villagers' stats because, well, the villagers might decide, we're going to stand up to you and we're not going to take, all this bullying and robbing and thieving you're doing. And once again, let your players decide where it goes. Let them, kill the villager. Let them burn his house down or something. Let them do what they want. Because it helps, one, get it out of their system. But at the same time, you remind them that you're in control. And this is how you do it. There are consequences for their actions. They, raided, tortured, and burned that whole village down. Well, now they got a bounty on their head from the local lord. And if they kill any bounty hunters that come after them, well, that bounty's going to get bigger. And if they kill any guards when they go into town, because eventually you might need supplies, that bounty's going to get bigger. And, honestly, it's So what if your original campaign doesn't go as planned anymore? The whole game is to have fun. And if your players are having fun fighting for their lives because bounty hunters are coming after them, then that's what you should do. But at the same time, you need to start questioning, should they win? And that's when the word hero should come into your mind. Should a hero stand up to them? And I say yes. Because once again, consequences. They attract too much attention, they get too high of a bounty, they cause too much trouble. A hero will step up and put them into their place. Sure, you might get a whole new campaign out of this, but I mean, what's wrong with that? As for your original campaign, they might, get that one session out where they derailed everything, and then they'll happily go back to the original campaign without causing too much mayhem, which is also a good thing. So, how do you plan for the unplannable? Well, it's simple. If you make mention of it, if you make mention of a nearby town, if you make mention of a wolf's den, if you make mention of a caravan that runs by every other day, stat it out. Make the stats for it. Even if they don't ask anything about them, even if they don't inquire if there's another town or anything, places of interest nearby, go ahead and make them and stat them out. Because the players might go to them as well as might come back to them. And the reason I say that is because it's there. You're telling me there's a statue of my god out in the woods that for some reason just appeared there one day? Yep, well, I'm going to go see it. Why? It's like, well, it's my god. Or, it's not of my god, but I'm kind of curious as to how a statue just magically appeared in the middle of the woods. Or even, there's a wolf's den nearby. They're not really hurting anyone, but there's a wolf's den nearby, and those pelts sell pretty well. So we're going to go kill those wolves and steal their pelts. I mean, players do this every now and then. They cause some sort of mayhem, or they make it to where the DM has to pull something out because you can't have a session where you guys do nothing because everyone's being railroaded into the campaign and to the story, and no one's having fun. It's like, really? Geez, we're being railroaded into this? You're not even giving me a choice as to what my actions are going to be? No. So, I say, let your players decide what they want. As of making this video, last night, I had a D&D campaign, and one of my players decided that they're going to attack, essentially, the boss ahead of time. While the rest of the group was dealing with the ogres and the kobolds of the cave, he decided to sneak up to the, essentially, boss and attack her outright. He had invisibility on himself, so he couldn't be seen. And she didn't get high enough perception in order to detect him. So he attacked her. He failed on the attack, but he still hit her with a spell because he's a magus. Because, he attacked and cast Burning Hands. He found out the hard way as to why you don't engage the boss immediately. Boss was a dragon in disguise, and the dragon transformed and bit him and took, I think, over half of his health, or at least a good chunk of his health out in one hit. I'm like, you're lucky because the way she transforms, she can't take another attack action on you this turn. But next turn, she will. I think in the turn after that, the players had gotten all, in a nice cone-like area, so she just blasted them all with her breath attack. Hurt most of them. One of them had evasion, was able to get away from the damage. But I had her stats already planned out. Even though I initially planned for them not to fight her, I knew there was a possibility that someone would pick a fight with her. So I gave her stats. I planned out what she was. I planned out everything about her. How she would get away if she was badly injured. How she would fight if she was the last one standing. Or even what she would do if she beat the players. I planned for all of this. they did do the damage needed to almost kill her. And she did get away, but they were able to injure her before she got away, and she fell unconscious down a hidden hatch. So, as far as the players knows, and as far as I have determined to tell them so far, I know that you're watching. She is dead. And that's all I'm going to say on that matter, because once again, I know that you're watching. But if they didn't attack her after killing all the other ones, what would have happened? Well, she still would have tried a diplomatic way of essentially causing them to surrender or make amends for killing her guards. Because they weren't doing anything wrong. In fact, the players were trespassing. Never mind the players were sent there on a mission. Just kind of how it is. But back onto the main subject of because it's there. That's what this whole session is about. Because it's there. Why are you attacking the boss when, there's still her guards up? Because she's there. Why are you going off to try and start your own casino in the middle of town? Because it's there. And that's what you got to be prepared for. Yeah, I'm going to go to the gambling hall and I'm going to, gamble. Okay, so, this is what you can do to gamble your money. I'm going to pick a fight with someone because I lost a lot of money. Oh, great. Now I got to pull up the stats for that person. Thank God that's so much easier than it used to be. But you should always be prepared to at least have quick access to the materials, if not already having it planned out. Because sometimes your players will throw you a curveball, or sometimes you might not have anything seriously planned for that session, so you have to make something up. Either way, that's how it goes. The game is about having fun, so if you like truly, making it up as you go, improvising it out, and hoping for the best, try it. Your players might enjoy it as well. Though, a very serious note, once again, on the consequences thing, make sure there are consequences for your players' actions. So that way they know that anything they do can come back to bite them. Anyways, that's it for this episode, and catch you guys later.